everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel today. We're back with another race in the GR.4 again, and this time we're at Interlagos driving the BMW M4. You saw the track guide we did here. We switched cars for the race, obviously for the strategy with the BMW M4 and obviously short shifting and making them tyres last, etc. So we're getting underway. We've got a few perspectives on this race. We've got myself, the guy in 5th place who's going to chase us down through this race, and we've got the TV replay in top hand corner. I have to apologise for it slightly getting out of sync sometimes. There's a stutter on the replay recordings on the PS4. I think I know a solution to fix it. I think it's because I've got boost mode active whilst using the performance enhancing mode on GT Sport to increase the frame rate, etc. on the PS4 Pro. So I think they're just working. I think there's an issue when they're both on. So we're going to try it without that on and see what happens in the future for future uploads. As you can see there, we got away in this race nice and cleanly. I did keep altering the timings to try and get them a little bit closer together on the different perspectives. We got it as close as we could. I would have had to have kept messing with stuff and slowing stuff down, and it would have got really complicated. So it's as good as I could get it, and hopefully you guys can appreciate the extra input into the race, etc. Try to keep the replay camera where the action is, and the left hand camera is obviously the perspective of the guy in 5th place who is going to chase us down for his race, and obviously the main screen we've got ourselves driving, starting on pole position as the lap the old teaser said. We managed to get pole position every race I did here. We had an absolute nightmare trying to get a race done here where we got it clean. I think this was my 4th or 5th race. I actually did 3 races, kept getting penalties, I gave up basically because the game was giving me stupid penalties again. We watched some TV, and then it was coming up to about, I think it was like 12:30. I said, I've got to get some footage for you guys. I need to get a race. So we did another race and got a penalty again. Then 1 AM I said this is going to be my last race at 1 AM. I was really tired, starting to probably lose a bit of speed because I was getting really I just wanted to go to bed, but I thought I've got to get a race, and this was the race that we eventually got. Really fun race and entertaining throughout. So you can see there, starting lap 2, we've managed to get a little bit of a cushion to the guy behind. This is where the strategy came in for my strategy. I was thinking, from the experience in the other races, I found that if I stayed back, because I was starting on pole every time, everyone was basically using me for fuel saving, and it was really getting frustrating because they were able to save more fuel because they were in my slipstream, and then I was getting little knocks because I was in with the pack and I was getting penalties, and it just became an absolute nightmare. Basically we were just getting knocked about a bit, and we ended up finishing like 4th, 5th and stuff like that, because even though we had the speed to do better, we weren't able to use it because everyone was using us for fuel saving, because I was trying to save fuel but then they were using me. I was even going down to 4 mixture on the straights, and people were deliberately not passing me. They were just staying in my slipstream, which is fair enough. It's valid. I'd probably do the same, but it was getting frustrating. So through in this race I noticed I built a bit of a gap up, so I started pushing. You can see him downshifting more than I probably would have liked. Being a little bit more aggressive with some of the shifts, not all of them. I'm still saving fuel, but I'm trying to build a bit of a gap up while saving fuel at the same time. So you can see there we're down to 9 laps of fuel. We've got, obviously we're at the end of lap 2, so we're not even at the end of lap 2 yet, so we've got a little bit of fuel saving to do, but I wanted to keep trying to push and build up this gap. Obviously the downside to this was the tyres were going to take a little bit more punishment, not a massive amount. I was still trying to save them tyres as much as I could. Obviously short shifting does help the tyres, but I was probably carrying a bit more speed into the braking zone than we would have liked, which was probably taking a little bit more wear out of them than would have been, you know, ideal. But this was the strategy I went for. I felt it was my only way. As you can see there, real close battle between 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. It is really close between them guys. Looking on board with the guy in 4th place now. I think there was an error made by one of the other guys coming out of the final corner on the back straight, which put him into 4th position. So you can see there, he's chasing down 3rd and 2nd there. We're building up, if you look in that top right hand corner, you can see we're building up a little bit of a cushion to these guys, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to give myself that space so I could really just, when I need to save fuel at the end of the race more so, and the tyres are going to start having a wear, I'm going to have that ability. But I could see, if you just look at the guy in the top left hand corner, he's just saving his fuel behind these guys, and he's really driving cautious. When I went back and watched the replay, I seen him, he was lifting and coasting a lot into these corners because he was able to do it because these two were battling. So he was just lifting, coasting, saving his tyre wear. You could hear he was getting no tyre screech. He was really doing a great job at his tyre wear, how he was preserving them tyres. I was really amazed. He really did have a talent for it. He was saving his tyres, saving his fuel, and his strategy was to obviously play it cool for these early laps, while I was going for the more all-out trying to push the laps a little bit further. I wasn't really going flat out. You can see I was doing a 39.1. We had done 38 6s and 5s in other races, so we could have pushed harder, but I was just trying to, you know, to keep the laps consistent and not really take too much life out of these tyres. I did make a couple of errors while still trying to push a little bit. What I wanted to do was build enough of a gap to keep it around 2 seconds at least, because I could see that the guy behind me didn't have the speed really to didn't seem to have the speed to contend with me around this track, even though he was second qualifying. As you can see there, an issue there. One of the guys, this was really strange, I have to say. I went back to watch this because he got a penalty for something, and this is what's annoying me with this game. It's happened to me about 3 or 4 times now. It's no contact and he's getting a penalty. There's obviously some sort of desync going on with the cars. As you can see there, no contact. He turns in, there's still no contact. I even checked looking back on from the other car, there was no contact at all through that corner. There was no corner cuts. He did the line that he took there was perfect. There was no issue with the lines. So and then suddenly he's going to pull over because he's got a penalty. This is the penalty system really ruining races. This guy would have been in for a shout for the win as well. It would have been a three-way battle, but because of the penalty system, it's ruined. However, he should have then, if that penalty was under 5 seconds, which you could clearly see it was, he shouldn't have took it. I've now found out, I want to give you guys the input on this. If your penalty is under 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, do not take it. Do not lift. Just serve it at the end of the race. That is the best way to do it. Because if you lift, you're going to lose at least that, probably more than what it says in terms of your lap time. You're going to lose more of that than if you actually take it. And then you probably get yourself in a position where some people are going to bump into you because they're not aware of what you're doing. So this is my advice to everyone. Do not take the penalty. I think you have to if it's over 5 seconds, I think. But if it's, or 3 seconds, I'm not too sure. But if it's a 1 or 2 second penalty, leave it. Just keep racing. Go to the end of the race and it will just add that 2 seconds onto your time. And then you're not going to lose the time lifting off, then getting involved with more incidents, probably losing places on the track. This is what I've found out to be the best way to do. And I've done it in 2 races now and it does work. You're going to see, I think even in this race it happens, and you'll see that how it happens. So you can see back to the race anyway. You can see battling going on between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Look how close that battle is there in the top right hand corner. They're having a real close battle. As you can see, us just keeping it in nice clean air, building that gap up over 2 seconds now, keeping the laps around between a 39.1 and a 39.4. You could see I've got more potential with that first lap we did, but that was mainly to try and get out of the slipstream with that. Sorry, the second lap. That was to try and build a gap so we got out of the slipstream from the guy in 2nd place. As obviously I knew that guy was struggling a bit compared to our pace. So what I needed to do was get myself away from the slipstream so he didn't drag all these others towards me. So that was my game plan for this race. We're going to find out if this game plan works or not. It's a real intense battle this, and I hope you guys stay to the end to watch this race. So you can see top right hand corner, we're concentrating on with the replay camera with where the action is. I thought instead of just leaving it on my car out in the lead moment, you can see my car on screen there. We're out in the lead, obviously. Wanted to keep that top right hand corner one on the action, and obviously the left hand camera is on the guy who is going to really chase us down in this race. So you can see him there. He's really playing this smart. What he's doing again is he's saving his fuel behind this guy. I can see that like now we're hitting around halfway distance in the race, close to halfway. He's thinking about getting past him now and trying to use up some of the fuel that he saved, but obviously not all of it. Because of the way he's done it, he's got a real nice amount of fuel saved up there. And what we're going to do at the end of the race is I'm going to go back and analyse the situation at the halfway point to show you the difference between the top 4 or 5 cars in terms of fuel wear and tyre wear, and show you what I mean by this. It's really interesting, and I was actually interested when I saw it. As we can see there in the top right hand corner now though, we've got a real battle going on into turn 1 as the guy in 2nd place is getting under attack. It looked like there was a little bit of contact between some drivers behind him, and luckily it looks like the top two didn't get affected, but looking back in the distance, you can see there was definitely some sort of contact and some incident that happened in that situation there. So what we'll do, after we just see if he's going to make the move now, going into turn one, yeah, third place has made that move, and he stuck it through and made the overtake count. So let's go back, have a little look at what happened as everyone got built up very close. If you look then, it looked like the blue car had to get out of the way as third place went for a move, and he goes down the inside there looking to make a move, and he gets the door completely shut off. I think third place should have really given him space there, but then because of that, he's pushed someone else to the wide, he's got a penalty, he's lifted, and then two other cars have hit him, sandwiched him, and it was just all mayhem kicking off. And then we're going to stay with this action now as we go back through to I think it's 5th place now there. It's 5th or 6th place, as these three cars are really getting close. And look at the guy on the LTs are making a move down on the BMW M4. He looks like he's going to get down the inside, but holding that outside is a real smart move on the sorry, on the, is it an Audi? The Audi, the guys in there, I think, I can't even work out what it's a BMW, I think. Yeah, it's a BMW. It's just the livery on that car made me all complete. I was a lot confused what car he was in there. So he's going down the inside, and you can see all three cars, and there's contact, a lot of contact going on between these guys. It's getting messy. People are getting penalties, and the guy who got the penalty before made up a few places where with amongst all that mayhem and got himself back in contention there for a top 5 finish. So driving back on board with ourselves now. Now we've got the guy behind us. We've managed to get. We've actually built up over a 3-second lead there. You can see it was 4 seconds lead at this point. So this was really good for myself. I'd really pulled out and stretched out that lead. You can see lap 4 and lap 5, both exactly the same laps. That's what I'm talking about. Consistency, maintaining speed, but consistency. But the tyres were obviously starting. You can see the two front tyres were really starting to take some wear. The rears were not too bad. They did have some wear on them, but they weren't terrible. And you can see my fuel, it's just about halfway. You can see we've got 5.3 laps of fuel. When we go over the line, we're probably going to have about the exact fuel we need to finish the race if we carry on driving it the way we are now. So short shifting, saving fuel, and just trying to maintain speed. So you can see the guy behind. We actually made a mistake on that lap there. We lost about 6 tenths to the guy behind, and this is where I was starting to real clock watch. I was watching that delta at too much probably. I was starting to get really panicky and like watching what was going on. I wasn't sure if I was looking at the laps remaining, and I was thinking he's going to be able to do this, because I had a feeling he'd save more fuel during the race. I kind of guessed that with the strategy, with starting 5th place, you're able to do that. You can sit in people's slipstream, and he's managed to get himself through the traffic, and now he's behind us. Coming out of that corner though, I did tend to be able to just eke out a little bit of time coming through the first few corners on the chicane and the long left-hander, which really did help out. But you can see again, he's bringing that gap down. He's starting to attack the track. You can see if third place is holding on slightly, but he looks like he's struggling. He's having to use more fuel, and probably I think he decided to back off. I think he actually gave up the position a little bit too easy in my view, 2nd place, when he let Gatos or whatever his name is pass. I think he should have fought that a little bit more, but you know, he obviously didn't want to get involved with any penalties, which is fair enough with the system that we're running at the moment, and that's another thing that annoys me. However, I myself, I'm not going to be that easy to overtake. I will fight. As you can see, we got a massive issue there, and we lost so much time on the braking zone going into that corner. We got our left front tyre on the dust, which lost us nearly a second on the delta. It was about 7 tenths, and that is not what I wanted. This just made me panic even more. As you can see, I could see him coming for me, I could see him in my mirror, I could see the delta coming down, and I was just trying to concentrate on keeping these laps together and trying to make sure that he didn't gain too much. I was seeing that we got 2.5 second gap, and we've got 3 laps to go, so 8, 9, 10, no, 4 laps to go after this one there, yeah. So we've got lap 8, 9, 10 and 11, so 4 laps to go and only 2.5 second lead. However, I do know that his car, obviously he hasn't pitted, so he's still got to do some fuel saving, but not to the extent that we did with that extra amount of fuel he saved on the first 3 laps. And obviously his tyres as well, he was really managing to save the tyre wear, which we'll get to at the end of the race, and I'll quickly show you what I mean by this. But as you can see there, we're still concentrating. Our lap times have started to drop a bit. You can see that lap 6 where we went down from a 39, lap 7 where we went from a 39.8 and before that, that lap 6 wasn't the best lap either. We made an error on that where he gained time, and then lap 7 a 40.1 because of that horrible error. That lap should have really been a 39.5 or 6 again, which would have really given me more of a cushion. I would have been around 3 seconds ahead still, which would have made me feel so much better. But at the moment, we're now 2.5 seconds ahead, and just trying our best to keep some sort of distance between ourselves and this guy in second place. You can see he's gaining. You can see it on his camera. If you look at that top left hand corner, you can really see he's got us in his view, and that's when you know you got to start panicking, because looking at the gap, we're down to 2 seconds between ourselves and this guy in second place. And I am trying my best, I'm not gonna lie. I was very tired at this point, which you know, it may be a loss as a 10th or so a lap, and like that little mistake, maybe that wouldn't have happened if we wasn't so tired. But it made for a great ending to this race as he's closing in, and we're trying our best to hold off the guy to make sure we can try and get a win at this track. I was so desperate for a win after doing that really nice lap in the qualifying phase in the Ortiz, that I really wanted to put that to good use and get a good result, and try my best to get a win for you guys, although I wasn't sure it was going to happen with the way this was going. You're going to have to see what happened in the race. It's a real intense battle at the end. As you can see, he's closing in. Look how much he's gaining every single bit of straight and every exit of corner. He seems to be pulling click like nearer to us, and just really starting to get down, put the hammer down as we ran wide there. Another mistake, another really horrible mistake there coming out of that corner. I got on the dirt, lost another bit of time, and you can see now in the top right hand corner, looking at the replay camera, we've managed to build quite a big gap to the other guys in this race. There's a substantial gap actually to the guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th. So our race pace has been really good through this. We've managed, you know, I think I've done the right strategy at this point, because I think if I would have just backed off and tried to save fuel, I would have been amongst all that trouble that was going on at the start, and that's when you're going to get penalties. This way I was able to race my own race, and this is why I decided to do this for this race. Just stick to my own plan, try and build that a little bit of a lead by using a bit of fuel. But you can see now, look how close this is getting. He's actually getting very close to getting in our slipstream, and I could see that happening. He's down to about a second behind us, and you can see me looking back now. That's when you know I'm starting to panic. When I'm looking back that much, it's because I'm sweating at this point. I am really starting to feel the nerves kicking in, and this is why I love GT Sport. It's like iRacing. It really does make you build the adrenaline up, and I know people say it's a race, it's only a game and all that, but when you're in the situation with a steering wheel, I don't know if it'd be as much of an adrenaline rush on a control pad. I'm guessing it would still be a bit, but when you're on a steering wheel and you're really going for it, it really does immerse you in the situation. And as you can see there, he's in our slipstream now, so this is where I've just got to start getting my defensive head on. You guys let me know what you think of my defense at this point. I'll tell you what happened after, but at this point we're just going to try and basically set our car up now for exits of corners and defensive driving. You can see we ran a little bit wide going through that corner there, just about got away with it. I have to apologise for the replay starting to get a little bit out of sync. There's not much I could have done with that. Obviously the error in the recording, it's not massively noticeable, it's just, it does frustrate me when things like that happen. But you can see now, taking a wide entry into that corner and then lifting a bit before I get on the power, like trying to really get my exit speed sorted, because that's where he's going to get us. If he's going to make a move on us, it's going to be into a corner from getting better exits than us. So taking a wide entry again, trying to get on the power, trying to get a nice clean exit, but we got on the curb a little bit then. And you can see he's in our slipstream now. We're going to have to get really defensive now. So we stay to the left-hand side, keep into that left-hand side, looking at his point of view. We stay to left. We're going to hold the white line along the track there, keeping along the white line. And then what I do now is stay to left, but then I start just creeping over to the middle of the track. You can see they're giving him plenty of space, though. That's to give ourselves a better entry point into this corner, because we can't go into that corner right to the left, because he'll have us then on the exit. So that enables me to get a reasonable exit on the corner. You can see holding on for everything I've got at this point, holding on to the line just about without getting a penalty, then getting back over to the left hand side of the track. I'm going to stay to that left, and then again I'm actually far enough ahead to just creep back into the middle of the track, you can see there. And then I don't know if he actually gave us a little touch at that point there, I'm not sure, but you can see I got a penalty for something there. I really don't understand this game, and it's so frustrating, but you know, I just thought, I'm not serving that. I'm going to see what happens. So we're managing to fend into the inside of this corner, and we hold it there and just about get ourselves back into the lead there. I'm really happy I managed to do that. I just braked late and just held on to that lead there. He actually got in the lead for a bit, but managed to just save this place. This is my view about driving. I don't like giving up position, especially when I'm in the lead. I will race fair, but I will defend that position with everything I've got. And as you can see there, going through to the last corners now, trying to take, you can see I even just lifted a bit going into the corner and then got on the power as much as I can, just so he can't get so close to us to make a move. I was really trying to concentrate on the exit speed, so going into the last corner again, trying to get a nice clean exit and getting on the power. You can see again I'm going to have to use some of the track on the right hand side, just about hold on to the car. This is where the tyres were really, look at the tyre on my front of the car, it is really gone. We've got a 1 second penalty. I didn't know whether he had one as well, because I know what this game is like. It was probably both of us got penalties. So going over the start straight, I stick to the left hand side of the track, and we're going to go over the line and we take the win, and it's actually give us the win. So we had the look, yeah, he got a penalty as well. He got a 2 second penalty, but again, stupid penalties that shouldn't exist on this game. Baffles me why, unless he already had a penalty from another incident, but shouldn't exist. But luckily we got the win. We held the defensive lines, and he actually complained about our defence in that, saying I moved 3 times on the track. Baffles me where I searched, there was nowhere I moved at all. You can go back and watch it. I think it was fair. So let's have a little look at our tyre wear compared to second. You can see we had better tyre wear than the guy in second. He had used more tyre wear and more fuel than us Bears. However, the guy that chased us down at the end, if we go to that guy, he really did manage to save a lot of fuel. You can see now, look at that, he saved a lot of, look how much fuel he had extra, and the tyre wear, he hardly had any tyre wear compared to ourselves and the guy in second. So he was actually really saving that fuel and the tyre wear. He was doing a great job at fuel management and tyre management in that race, and this is why he was able to attack so much towards the end. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that race. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification button so you do not miss any of my future uploads. I'm going to be back with more videos on GT Sport, Assetto Corsa and Project Cars 2 very soon. Thanks again for watching everyone.